So I was basically on the brink of foreclosure and bankruptcy myself. I spiraled into depression. This was in my early 30s because as a dad, as a man, right, you just feel like you can't provide. Everything my family went through as a kid, I'm like, here it is. History repeats itself. I'm doing the same thing. But I was learning about real estate investing at that time, and I had no hope. And I had an opportunity to say, all right, I could go into the military, and I was going to go into the Air Force at 33 years old because I couldn't afford to go to college. I couldn't find a job, but the military was going to pay me $33,000 a year to come into the military and give me an education. I was like, well, it's better than zero.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I am your host, Q Edmonds, and I am excited to be here today. We have another fantastic guest. And listen, I'm so excited about this gentleman. I'm excited about what he brings to the real estate world, right? Specializing in off-market properties. One of their strengths is their conversion rate. But what I love most is that he's a coach, because he wants to show people how to get better at what they do. And so I'm excited about his mindset, and I'm so glad that he brings that mindset to this platform. And so I want to introduce you all to Mr. Jeremy Beland. Mr. Jeremy, how you doing today, sir?
I'm doing very well, thanks, my friend. I'm happy to be on your podcast. It's a great honor, so I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, sir. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here. So I honor that and I appreciate that. And listen, man, I want to dive right in. I want you to tell the people what your main focus is these days. I would love, man, you give us a little bit of an origin story of kind of how you got to where you are now. We love origin stories. And then, man, if you don't mind, tell us demographically, geographically, where you are in the world. And so, Mr. Jeremy, sir, you got the floor, man.
All right, great. I'm based out of Jeremy Beland, 49 years old, turning 50 this year. Good Lord.
Oh,
Whew, I can't even believe it. I'm knocking on wood because I hope I make it to 50. But
amen.
I started, I'm in my 10th year of real estate investing, and I started when I was 40 years old. I'll get you into my origin story quickly in a second, but I'm based out of Southern New Hampshire, just about an hour north of Boston. So everybody listening, you're probably going to hear my thick Boston accent, you know, when I start saying like park and car and things of that
Yeah.
nature. But that's why, you know, my home buying business, which I'm still actively doing, you know, we're up here in New Hampshire. We buy in Massachusetts, and we actually do some work down in Florida in the Treasure Coast and the Port St. Lucie area. I've been wholesaling in other markets, was up in upstate Western New York for a while, in Buffalo and Rochester. We did 150 wholesale deals there in about 2.5 years at one point. Did a whole bunch of stuff down in the Port St. Lucie area in Florida. Did stuff in Wichita, Kansas for a while, even did a deal in Vegas. That was early in my career when I realized that I just could scale everywhere and it would just be magical. And I found out through time that less is more, especially as I had gotten older. But my origin story is quite crazy, and I'm going to try to sum this up pretty quickly, right? So, you know, as you know, I'm pretty old. So I came into this world a long time ago. You know, I came into this world with a single mom, no dad, in poverty, you know, basically homeless and on welfare and things of that nature. So, the first years of my life was really challenging for my mom, and she did a great job. And then she met somebody, and we decided to slowly, she got married, and we started to have some success. And
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
next thing you know, it was adolescence in Southern New Hampshire, and we ended up having like a home, and I had a bike and a TV, and we had cars, and like things were a lot of things that I didn't have as a young child. Things were going pretty good, and but my stepfather at the time decided to leave a corporate America job and start his world into entrepreneurship, starting a residential and commercial window cleaning business. In the process of doing such, we ended up losing everything. And by the time
Mm.
I was getting ready to go into my freshman year of high school as a very troubled delinquent youth at this point, we went through bankruptcy, foreclosure. They lost the house, they lost everything, all the cars were repossessed. And next thing you know, I was 13 years old and we were basically homeless. And, they
Mm.
struggled to try to make ends meet. And then really just set me up for really not success the rest of my life going forward. Got into a lot of trouble as a young youth, drugs, alcohol, got arrested, things of that nature. Next thing I know, I'm 15 years old and I drop out of high school, start
Mm.
working full time, making $4.25 an hour.
Mm.
And had no money, no credit. My family had no money, no credit. And it wasn't really looking good for me. But eventually, as I started becoming into my late teens, I found the gym, and that was my first thing of just working on myself, right? World
Yeah.
of like I could put in some effort and get some return. It was just more my first self-development process, which led me to playing semi-pro football. And at this point in time, I was in my early 20s. This was right around the turn of the century. Yes, that long ago. I was a high-rise window cleaner working in Boston off skyscrapers, and I was making about $24,000 a year, hanging off skyscrapers, in the cold and and it was terrible. Um, anyway, I had no money. A $400 beater car, and a friend of mine that I was playing football with said, "Hey, dude, I got an opportunity for you. Why don't you come work for me?" Which was a sales job. And that sales job was to sell copiers, printers, and fax machines and things of that nature. Now, I never even owned a tie in my life. I had to literally go buy my first tie, have somebody tie it for my job interview. I got to the job interview. They said, "Hey, wow, you're breathing, you're hired." So somehow I got lucky for making $24,000 a year, working on a skyscraper, covered in pigeon poop every day, to $24,000 a year in an office with the potential to make more commission. Had some success, led me to another, sales job, business to business, which if you guys know business to business, you do a lot of cold calling, a lot of door knocking, a lot of gatekeeping, really hone my skills for sales to come. But I was so grateful to have that opportunity, right? I wasn't like getting physically cold and dirty every day. All I had to do is have people tell me no and just go on to the
Mm.
next office and knock on their door.
Mm.
Um, Found some success with that. Next thing I know, I'm married in my late 20s, and I'm making six figures a year, and like I have a nice house in New Hampshire. I have two young kids. I have a pool in the backyard. I own a camper that we go up to a campground, and I have two cars that are really nice. I like For me, who grew up incredibly poor, like really, really poor. I hit the epitome of what, the white picket fence of what I consider success, watching sitcoms in the 80s and 90s. And I was so thrilled. And then the Great Recession came and
Mm.
completely changed everything. And if for you guys who know, the Great Recession 2008, 9, and 10, that was definitely a housing crisis, which I was affected with, but it was also an employment crisis. And I went from having a really good job to having no job, like many other people. And because I had no college degree, no high school degree, I couldn't find a job anywhere. And next thing you know, my house was upside down in equity, $150,000. My wife was still working as a teacher at that time, but we couldn't afford it. And there was no loan modifications and everything else, no refinance options.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
So I was basically on the brink of foreclosure and bankruptcy myself. I spiraled into depression. This was in my early 30s because as a
Mm,
dad, as a man, right, you just feel like you can't provide. Everything my family went through as a kid, I'm like, here it is. History repeats itself. I'm doing the same thing. But I was learning about real estate investing at that time. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, The Cash Flow Quadrant. I was learning from people like Peter Conti, and I was kind of dabbling into everything at that time. Um, and I had no hope. And I had an opportunity to say, all right, I could go into the military, and I was going to go into the Air Force at 33 years old because I couldn't afford to go to college. I couldn't find a job, but the military was going to pay me $33,000 a year to come into the military and give me an education. I was like, well, it's better than zero. I'm going to do it. But they weren't going to hire me because if I went through foreclosure and bankruptcy, I couldn't get the top secret clearance I needed to do what I was
mm,
going to do, which was try to get a recession-proof job of selling
yeah.
network security.
Mm,
So, on the brink of foreclosure and bankruptcy, I reached out to a local real estate investor who came out and successfully helped me short sale my house. So, my
mm,
first off market deal, I was the motivated seller.
mm,
So, I know what it's like to be on the other side. And that guy gave me a reset button in life. And honestly, if it wasn't for him here, I wouldn't be here today.
mm,
He helped us out, and I could go on and on how he provided so much value during that time for us. But he changed my life. He gave me a chance to rebuild and get into it. So yeah, that's it. I went into the basic training at 33 years old, just before I turned 34, the age cutoff. Went into basic training. My nickname was Gramps because I was in there with a
mm,
bunch of 17-year-old kids.
right.
Um, you know, and started to rebuild myself. Came out, got divorced, started to slowly build myself up. Next thing I know, dude, I'm 40 years old. I'm making six
Mm,
figures again, but kind of living paycheck to paycheck as a divorced dad of two kids. And
mm,
I said, I needed something more. And as we get older, we start to realize we're starting to become more vulnerable, we're more expendable. And I was really worried about if I don't take control, what happens if the economy crashes again? What if the owner of my company decides to sell? What if I have to go back on the job market again? I don't have many qualifications. Yes, I have years of success in real sales, but that didn't help me the first time. May not help me a
yeah.
second time. That's when I took a bold move. I was listening to Wholesaling Inc. podcast at that time, traveling around the country on my sales job, and decided I was going to go into wholesaling because I didn't, even though I wanted to flip and buy rentals, didn't know you could use other people's money to do that. So I
Yeah.
said, I have no money, but if I learn how to do wholesaling, at least I could find a way to get properties at the lowest level and maybe build it to something better, which I did.
Yeah.
But I had no money to join the coaching program and I had no money to start the thing. So
Mm,
I owned a townhouse that I bought 2 years earlier. I decided to sell that townhouse and take the equity I had, which was about 17 grand. I basically moved my kids into a crappy little 2-bedroom apartment in not such a great neighborhood in the next town over. And I took
mm,
$11,000 and I put $5,000 into a coaching program, $6,000 into the initial marketing spend in the beginning of starting up my LLC back in late 2016 when I turned 40 years old. And I bet everything I had on starting my wholesaling business. Got my
mm,
first wholesaling deal, March of 2017. You can see the check; it's right behind me. I still hold that today. Made
mm,
$5,000. Went on to do 10 deals that first year. Do $73,000. Built the foundation of what was to come. As I stand here today, 10 years later, as a full-time investor for the last 6 years now, we've done over 500 off-market deals. We've done over $12 million in gross profits. I have a rental portfolio in multiple states. And most importantly, I've been super present with my family for like the last 7, 8 years. And I built a life based around what I want to do. And I love real estate. So I'm building this job, this business that I get to do every day, but it's also built around my family first and my lifestyle first. So that's my origin story.
yeah. Man, I wish you would really tell us like what you've been up to for the last 10 years because I'm messing back. Bro, thank you. Thank
Yeah, you're
you
welcome.
for taking us, man, on the journey. as you was writing, I'm writing down your resume. I'm taking notes. Eventually, I just had to get to the point where I just put the pen down and just was just listening, man.
I know it's a lot. I'm
Um,
sorry. I tried to go as
no, no,
quickly as I
no,
could.
no, no, no. Listen.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I love stories. I think Kobe Bryant, before he passed away, Kobe, he was on a Lewis Howes, the School of Greatness podcast. Not sure if you heard the School of Greatness podcast. You would
Yeah.
probably would love this podcast. So you have heard of it?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So he was on the School of Greatness podcast, and Lewis asked him, "What what are you trying to do that you have not done?" And Kobe said, "Tell the perfect story." Kobe said, "Nothing in this world moves without story. Story
Sure.
moves everything. The microphone that's in front of you, there's a story behind that. The hat that you have on, I'm sure it has a VIN number that can be traced back to what factory it was created, maybe even to the person that created or the line person that created all that stuff." And so, no, man, I thank you for the gift of your vulnerability, the gift of your transparency, and you sharing your story. And as you was talking, so many things was coming to mind. First, you're 49 years young. Like, bro, you're just getting started. You've already accomplished so much. I was listening to somebody, and they said the research show that the most profitable years of people's life is when they're in their 60s.
Yeah.
The
For
second
sure.
most profitable is their 70s. The
Wow.
third most profitable is their 50s. So, bro, when I look at you, man, you're just getting started. I
That's
would
how
not
I
peg you to
feel.
be 49, but I feel like you're just getting started. And man, and
Yeah.
so I was writing down that the things that you said when you talked about your mom, talked about, dropping out at 15 years old. Just talk about just how you build up now to this $500 off market deals, $12 million. I mean, so you are personification of what I'm about to say. And I say this probably once every episode, that destiny has no wasted moments. Meaning no matter what we've been through in life, destiny has a way of building these moments that kind of make us who we are today. And
Yeah.
so, man, just listening to you talk, bro, it's like I want to ask you, and if you could put it in words, what has destiny taught you about yourself? On its journey to success, what has it revealed to you? Has it revealed strength? Has it revealed resiliency? Like what has this journey revealed to you about you, if you could put it into words?
Yeah. Well, destiny is great. And as we get older and wiser and more experienced, we have a different reflection on life as time goes by. And and I look back at those times of 2008, 9, 10. Those were the worst. That was like really a low time in my life. I was super depressed. At that time, that was the worst. I was suicidal. I was on, I wanted my life to end, and because I was a dad, I didn't take, advantage
Mm-hmm.
of that those thoughts that were going in my head, those feelings.
Yeah.
But I look back now, it truly was one of the best things that ever happened to me. And it's really
Mm.
become my calling, right? So that guy who took care of me that day, all these years later, I've been able to do that to local people in my communities by giving them reset buttons, right? Where a lot of good people fall in hard times, right? We're all one or two life choices or one or two life decisions from being in a situation where we need help to get out of our situation. And sometimes our house is that help. And I've been able to pay it forward so many times. And now I get to teach people to pay it forward. So now it's been hundreds, and now with my coaching program, it's thousands. It's like, who would ever thought that time in my life would have been my calling? So there's a little bit of my destiny. But as far as who I've become, I think of perseverance as really the key word. You can probably see up over my head. That's Rocky, right? The famous quote. It's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get up and keep on swinging. That's how life is. We're all going to get knocked down. And listen, I told you about my success, but I've had a lot of failures along the way as well in the business. And, even this past year, there's been a couple deals where I lost a significant amount of money. Those things are going to happen. but what am I going to do? I just need to get back up, get better, and keep going. And over time, with the help of more mentorship and more experience and learning from my mistakes in my past, I'm going to get better. So perseverance would be the key word that I would say out of the ones that you described.
No, I absolutely love it, man. I have a saying where I say, failure is just fertilizer, right? Failure is
Mhm.
just fertilizer for us to grow. And like most of the time, when you look at what fertilizer is, it's dung, it's mess, it's poop. It's
Good point.
stinky. Like we
Yeah,
don't want to
yeah,
handle it. But truth be told, it has the nutrients to help us grow to the strong oak trees that we are today, right? And so
I love that.
that's all it is, man. These are just lessons to learn from to just help you grow. And to me, again, you are the personification of that. And that's why I'm
Well,
so
thank you.
glad that you shared the gift of your vulnerability, man. Let me ask you this. What is your next real goal? What are you looking to solve a scale next, man?
We're continuing to grow here in our New England market. One of the, with my local house buying business, we've become one of the largest and most popular and most successful house buying companies in the last 10 years, something I'm really, really proud of. If you even think from a small business perspective, most companies don't even make it 5 years, never mind 10. Right. So that's a huge accomplishment in itself. But, I'm in it for the long haul. I know we all get into real estate to retire, but who wants to retire from a life that you already love doing, right? And I can scale it to as few hours a week or as many hours a week as I want. And I've done both, and it weaves in and out and up and down, which is great, which is what I love about real estate. I can build any life I want around, or my business around any life I want. So here over the next 10 years, we have a great team. We're fortunate to have great people who have been working for us for a long time. We're going to scale, but I want to be over the next 10 years here up in the New England area, as when somebody thinks of house buying company, they think of my brand. So I want us to be the number one house buying company. We're already there, but I want everybody to know the name. So that's really what we're gonna like try to achieve over the next 10 years. So like for listeners, like when you think of facial tissue, right? We think Kleenex, right? And I said this before we got on, right? Kleenex is just a brand. So when people think house buyer, I want them to think New Hampshire Home Buyers is the prevalent house buying business around. So I'm going to do that. And I want to continue to work on my coaching business. I never thought I'd really be a mentor, but it's been very rewarding. I love helping others build a life of freedom like we have. I want to continue to do that. And a lot more, just spend time with my beautiful wife as our kids are leaving the nest, and travel and, build for the next 50 years of our life. That's what I'm all about.
Man, I love it, man. I love hearing you talk, man. I love hearing you talk about your story. I love hearing you talk about your family. I love hearing you just talk about just manhood and just the journey and the vulnerable steps that we have to take in manhood, right? I tell people all the time, meekness is not weakness. To be able to harness your strength, talk about the different things you've been through. That's the strongest thing about being a man is setting an example. Is like, hey, like, look, we all going to go through, trials and tribulations. So I love it, man. I do want to get your perspective before we get out of here on relationship building. I want to know, is that important to you? How have you went about building relationships within, real estate, within business? So talk to me a little bit about your perspective on relationship and relationship building.
I think it's huge. I think your reputation is huge. I think your relationship is huge. It's really important for me. I just want people to know that I'm a good person. Whether you're on the left side of the aisle, right side of the aisle, whether you're religious, not religious, whatever your ideology is, I want somebody to be like, Jeremy's a really nice guy. He's kind, he gives, right? He makes an impact in people's lives. So being a good, wholesome person is really important to me. And I want to help people. And so having that reputation out there is really important. And I have to do that by kindness, not spewing hate, spewing, my ideology, strong opinions, and bashing others for having disagreements and things of that nature. So I don't do any of that, but I love, connecting with realtors in our network and other people, other professionals, helping provide value. The coaching community has been a great aspect for that as well. Obviously podcasts like this, you meet a lot of good people. A lot of times with the masterminds that we've been a part of and other coaching programs, I met some really good people that have become really great friends and business partners along the way. So, you always want to have a good reputation. If people want to like you, people want to do business with you. And if you're good to people, it's going to create you more opportunity financially as well. So, be kind, help people, it all comes back around. Karma is a B, as they say. So don't be on the bad side of karma.
Man, so very well said, my friend. So very well said. Yeah, that I listen. I ain't gonna even. I come from old school church background, so I say you don't overpreach the preacher, right? So what you just said was just so eloquently said, man. And so,
Thank you.
listen, Jeremy, if someone wanted to reach out to you, connect with you, collaborate with you, learn more about what you're doing, how can they reach out to you, sir?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Quentin, if you don't mind, I'm going to give them a link for a free gift, right? So, as we talked about early, I'm all about conversions, right? My business and what we teach in our coaching program is about taking leads and having the skill set with communication skills over the phone and in person to take those leads and convert them to contracts that actually close, not just contracts, but contracts that close. That's a big difference. Um,
Yeah.
so there's a lot of acquisition skills that go into that. So we built this ebook. It's called the Top Sales Techniques to Get More Deals, Bigger Deals with Less Cancellations. If your listeners want to go to reifreedom.com/gift, that's REI for real estate investing, freedom, one word, reifreedom.com/gift. They can go ahead and download that book for free, implement those techniques into the business right away. I guarantee a massive impact. Outside of that, feel free to reach me, Jeremy Beland, Beland. I'm on all the social medias. I literally talk to people all day, every day for free, by the way, and help them within their business. If you have a question about marketing, conversion, dispositions, acquisitions, business, anything, shoot me a message. I'll answer it. I promise. I'll help you out. I do it all the time. Happy to.
Listen. Oh man, let me say three things to you real quick, man. First, thank you for your time. I think your
My
time is
pleasure.
valuable. You can be doing anything with your time, but you chose to be here with us. So definitely thank you for your time. Two, thank you for your story, man. I put a premium on stories. I believe stories have a way of planting seeds in people that somebody or something can come along and water and then the growth start to happen. So sometimes we don't see the impact from our stories, but just planting the seed is sometimes enough. So thank you, man, for leading with vulnerability, leading with transparency, leading with integrity, leading with honesty. I appreciate your story. Secondly, thirdly, and lastly, thank you for your mindset, man. Thank you for your perspective and
Thank you.
bringing that mindset to this platform. I greatly appreciate you being here today, man.
It's my pleasure. It's a great honor. Thank you for allowing me to share my story. And again, for any of the listeners, if you need any help on your journey, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help. We're all blessed to be doing a podcast on a Wednesday afternoon rather than sticking in some office where I have to work for some dude I don't want to work for or dudette.
Come on, man. Again, so well said, man. So listen, y'all heard Mr. Jeremy. You got the nuggets, you got the story. Look in the show notes. He didn't give you a free gift. Look in the show notes. You can connect with it there. We got it down there. Look in the show notes. So definitely connect with Jeremy, but definitely make sure you are subscribed here because I promise you, we're going to continue to bring up amazing people just like Mr. Jeremy. So, sir, thank you again. And to everyone else, y'all have a fantastic day.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.